Now we're at Fine Eye Gallery here in Sutter Creek, and we're going to be talking to James Aaron. Come on inside.
Thanks for coming to the Fine Eye Gallery.
Oh, it's a wonderful gallery. I love
glad
being
you like
here.
it. Yeah,
yes. Yes, so you have been an artist for how long?
Oh, I've been an artist, since about 1966. How's that? When I was this tall.
Yeah, you were, yeah.
Honestly, I was always drawn to creativity. I loved to draw and paint when I was a kid. Always outside the lines, never inside the lines.
Good.
And I have followed a creative path my entire life.
I understand that your previous career, you were a dancer.
Yes. So I started off drawing and painting and playing around with clay when I was a kid, and then one day I got this wild hair that I should learn how to move. And I went off to college and I studied dance. I have a degree in modern dance, and I was one of the lucky people in the world to actually have a career as a dancer. And I traveled internationally with several large dance companies and had a great time for about 10 years.
Oh, that's fantastic. I noticed that there is a flow also, a very graceful flow to the things you have displayed at this gallery.
Absolutely. My work is all based on the idea of movement, large and small objects, planets, molecules, cells, and I use those ideas as gestures. And just like dance is the culmination of gestures in space, my work is the culmination of gestures in space, and I use the clay as the bridge between what my body is doing and then what the object is in itself. Does that make sense?
Yes, very much. You can feel it.
I think so. Yeah.
And I love the colors.
Oh, and I was just going to say, the color is like an added layer of energy and dynamics that I put in concert with the shapes themselves, and I think it gives the work a lot of life, a lot of activity, makes it visually like candy.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, very much.
And I understand that when somebody purchases a grouping that you have templates, so if they like your arrangement, they can arrange it exactly like they see it in the gallery.
That's right. Oh, well, yes, they can do it. The work comes with a template so that what I conceive, what I design, is reproducible in someone's home or office or commercial space. And what's wonderful about it is that, let's say someone loved this piece, which is called Eames Inspired. The colors of this piece were inspired by Charles and Ray Eames and the color palette that they used.
It's nice to know the influences.
Exactly, yeah, a little reference to history. If somebody loved this, but let's say they had a long, narrow, vertical space, I could redesign it, take all of the components and redesign them to suit a different space. And that way, the work stays alive, it's dynamic and changing, but I still get to have some control over what it looks like.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yes. Control is so important when you're the artist.
Well, it is. You know, when I first started making dot compositions about 10 years ago, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just doing it, and people were instantly drawn to them, so I welcomed people to take the pieces home, arrange them as they so desired, and then they started sending me photographs of their proud achievements, and I thought, oh, you know, not so much. Let's work on this a little bit. And that's how I came upon the idea to make templates. So every single piece comes with a full-sized paper map of the piece, where the hardware goes, everything is numbered, so that the conception of the composition remains as a part of the piece.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Do you want to show me another one?
Sure, walk this way.
Okay.
So as we go, this is the Fine Eye Gallery in Sutter Creek. I am the exhibitions coordinator here, and everything that comes in the door touches several hands and then gets to me, and I have to figure out where it goes in the store, how it merges with whatever we have on hand.
So you're responsible for the artistic layout of this store.
I am. I make a lot of decisions about how the store looks, what colors we use for the walls, what merchandise merges with other merchandise to create a story. So this is another piece. This piece is called Gray Matters. I like the idea that it's very cerebral, it's very thought-provoking, and then I liked the way the words themselves, gray matters, plays.
I
So
like that too.
that's the title of this piece.
I love plays on words.
Yeah,
Love it.
it's fun to use vocabulary as another layer of
The art,
creative tools.
yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And while we're back here, I thought I might show you these objects.
I was just going to ask you about that.
I call them geode bowls, and I've been making them for a little bit longer in time than I've been doing the dot compositions. And what happened was a whole bunch of parts of the geode bowls were sitting around in my studio, and I thought, well, gosh, those circles piled on top of each other kind of look interesting. What if I took that and expanded it into a flat plane and hung them vertically instead of having them sit on a tabletop? And that was really the gestation of the dot compositions.
And the other thing that I notice, which I I love to play with light,
Mm-hmm.
and where the light comes in, whether it's from bulb lighting
Mm-hmm.
or from natural sunlight, you'll get a different feeling because the shadows will change.
Exactly. It's interesting that you mentioned shadows, because I feel like the shadows that are cast on the wall are part of my pieces. I intentionally build the shapes to sit forward of the wall, so they cast a drop
I
shadow,
see that.
and it gives essentially a two-dimensional object a sense of three dimensions.
Yes, that is something. I love three-dimensional art, and that's how I feel about yours, that it's multi-dimensional.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
Yes.
Thank you for saying that.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. I tell it like I see it.
Okay.
Is this another one of your bowls?
This is also a
that's,
geode bowl, yes. And
and-
what we did was we took these
another
little
artifact,
glass, little glass bowls, and we stacked them inside so that you have a composition that's based on two artists, Hudson Beach Glass and me. And I like the way they play with each other.
I
The
do
glass
too.
is translucent, and you see the light bouncing off of what seems to be a translucent surface on the clay, but it is opaque.
It's fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous. And then I see a monochromatic piece over here.
Yes, the blue piece. Come this way.
Oh, it's blue. Okay. Oh, from this angle. Oh my gosh,
So
it
this
changes colors.
This piece is called Midnight, and
Oh.
it's a study of the colors of night, essentially.
Oh my. That is just fascinating.
And I can show you a photograph of another piece similar to this one. Same color idea, but much different in scale.
It's really nice.
Thank you.
I love metallic
yeah, sure.
introduced into works too. For some reason, I am so drawn to works that have metallic things in them.
Well, metallics give you the idea of density and weight.
Yes.
And they also offer another kind of light reflection. So we were talking about light and shadow a moment ago, and metallics give you a bounce of that quality back toward you rather than casting it like a shadow away from you. And I like that.
Oh, I like the way you put that.
Oh, thank you.
That's great. And I understand you have some other things that we're going to see at.
Yes, I could show you some pieces based on a study of paper, if you'd like to see that.
Yes.
I've been doing a series of drawings on paper thin porcelain. I call them tablets, so they're like a tablet of paper, and they're drawings of paper. And let me go grab one for you, okay?
Okay, that would be great. These are tablets.
I call these tablets. They are paper thin sheets of porcelain with images. This is an image from a 19th century photograph that I blew up with Photoshop and then deleted about 95% of what the original photograph was. And so I just see this lovely image of a person.
That's wonderful.
And then I also do a series that is pure graphics. It's all about lined paper. And so what I do is I draw pictures of lined paper on clay tablets. So it's like a throwback to ancient history. Before we had paper, we had clay tablets. And then I take this very modern idea and add it to the surface.
And I love the way you added a water stain to it
Yes.
too. Because how many times have we done that when we had the school paper?
That's exactly right. And that's actually part of the original idea of this, was that I was doing drawings of smudges on paper, the pieces of paper we would throw away. And then I thought, but if I take that and I capture it for all time or until someone drops it, what an interesting and funny way of playing with the idea.
Yeah.
So there's that.
You have another one for us?
And then here's one. Oh, this is interesting. This was for a triptych that I made for the Amador Arts Council for a show called River Reflections.
Yes.
This is a photograph of a 19th century gold miner from this area. And then the second panel for this series was a map of the McCallamy River down in the canyon where lots of gold was found. And then the third panel in the series was a piece of writing from a miner's journal. And I can send you an image of that, so that you can see it. Yeah.
Yes,
I'd be
we
happy
try
to.
include that.
Yeah.
And that was quite a show, the River Reflections.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. And actually, the River Reflections show will be traveling to McCallamy Hill to the Hotel Leger. I believe that section of the show opens next Saturday, so 1 week from today,
believe it does.
and it'll be there for a few weeks.
That's
So
great.
come over and see it.
I will.
That's great.
And you all come to see it too. And thank you so much, James.
Oh,
It's been a
thank you.
pleasure.
It's a pleasure to meet you. And I hope we'll see you again here at the Fine Art Gallery.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
I love this gallery.
Oh, I'm so glad. All right.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.